Okay, yeah. So what is this for? Just like you're holding a tree. What is it for? Do you know? It is more of advanced levels. It's about 5 elements training. Okay, give you an example. Right? Everybody can do it. Everybody can do it. It's how good you are. It's about susceptibility between human and cosmic energy. You want to receive signals, you want to receive chi, the cosmic energy, then you have to open up your sensory receptor. Your eyes, your ear, your nose, your tongue, and also what? Your skin, our pores. So the whole objective of training Qigong is to increase the sensitivity of our sensory receptor to receive external signal or external qi, we call white qi, right, into our body. So the next one is interaction between cosmic and human energy, because inside the energy, we have all the organs energy, we have the blood energy, we have the oxygen in the blood, we have the pulse energy, we have nutrition energy, and also now we call it defensive, we call it the immune system. And so these are internal energy. So how are you going to trigger and receive the external energy trigger reaction to boost the life force of these organs? Is it not this the whole objective of our training? So you tell me. So where does all the spirit comes in? I don't know. Do you ask yourself? Okay. So let's just we can set the record straight first. Okay. This is training sensitivity of here. Very important, right? Through the 2 Wei Qi, electromagnetic field, and also infrared heat, infrared low frequency of heat. Because in our body, these are the common external energy, and we do have these 2 types of internal energy as well. So because our whole neurological system is run by static electron. So when you rub this, remember, when you rub this, friction, you create heat, and also you static. So remember when we were young, we used the ruler, we rub it in our hair, and we put it into a tiny little piece of paper. You can see it jump. This is exactly what we're training by holding up the hands. That's Tai Chi Zhong. So this is not Wu Ji Zhong. You cannot rely on that. So the whole objectives are completely different. A lot of people can feel something in between because this is a force field. Yeah, everybody can do it. Yeah, but our training is, can we increase the sensitivity from here to this far, right? Or bigger? And then at the end of the day, can we make contact susceptibility? That means we receive signal from the 5 elements. Okay, from water, you can sense it. The water molecule, the also molecule particle, they give a frequency, they give a different type of qi. So this is what the qi, the entire thing about qigong, the methodology of training qi. So be real. This is the real stuff, not close your eyes, relax. Harry Potter. So when you're sensitive enough, okay, to sense the metal give up different frequency. The fire, very simple, fire, easy. You put it near to the fire, the warm coming up. You put it near to the freezing cold, the ice, water, right? A completely different sensation. Exactly, sensitivity. So when we do this, we are trying to train up the sensitivity, all right, of this particular regions which we are used to collect. Also, the entire body to collect. Okay, so that's why when you're doing it, everybody's putting this. Fine. But what about your putting it here? Am I wrong? Well, what about I put it here? Right? Am I wrong? Well, some people you see it put it here. Yeah? And what about here? So now this is not holding tree now, isn't it? Fair enough. So why? Now I'll tell you why. This is for making diagnosis as well in our internal Neidan Taoist medicine. Because why? Now I was born with my DNA defects from my father's side. My father and my grandfather died of lung problems, and I was born with asthma day one. Okay, yeah. So the only one to help me, the asthma thing, there's no cure. And then when I come over to London, what you call it, the summer thing, the hay fever even get it worse. You know, it was terrible. But now I'm hucking trees. I'm hucking trees, and I don't use any medicines. So I'm a living proof. But some people, they say I'm lying. Fine, loads of my students were helped with all the skin problem. That's why I put all the case study up in the Facebook, free of charge for us, all of us to share. Okay, yeah? So when I'm doing this every night, okay, I'm using a sensitivity. I'm going through my lung meridian. Why? This is why we come into the blockages. They're muscular blockages, neurological blockages, and biochemical blockages. Right? So that means when I feel the sensation that if there's a blockages along my lung meridian, okay, yeah, or my heart meridian, or now this is the lung, this is large intestines, okay, usually it's around here, because it's frozen shoulders always affecting your large intestines. Okay, yeah. So this is the pericardium. This is the Sanjiao. You know, the three groupings, right? And also more small intestine in the heart, and then underneath the sixth meridian down the foot. So we just have to check it. So all the time I'm checking myself. So this is why we train sensitivity. For making diagnosis, we can actually feel. So you might ask, how do you feel? I'll give you a very simple scientific. Okay, it's not imagine. Right? In a traditional heigam, chigen, that means feeling the sensation. Hot, which is the heat. Now the heat is a sensation, isn't it? Hot, cold, numbness, okay, painful, itchy, all right, and also swelling. So I'm checking, right, all the time. Do I have this kind of reaction? The body is telling me something. So this is how we make diagnosis to myself. So when you learn to make diagnosis, obviously you're taking the pulse as well, you know, the classical, you know, TCM, making diagnosis. And then also I go into my spontaneous. The body actually come out, bringing out either the monkey, you know, or the animals coming out. And that is also making diagnosis. So it's not so simple that you close your eyes and relax, I'm doing Qigong. It's a very complicated medical study. Okay, yeah? So when we're doing this is how we train. Now, I'll tell you some scientific thing behind it. It's just like a sonar, you know, the sonar with the ships in the ocean testing the sea floor. They put sonar down, and then when you mark it, you know, if it comes to the underwater volcanoes or whatever rock, you know, the graph will jump up and down. Yeah, because that means if there's a line going through, no blockages, and suddenly a blockages, it jump. This is how you feel when you're checking through your own meridian. You can actually feel it as a knot. There's a knot there. Okay. The thing is, do you have the sensitivity yet? Now, some people are born with it. Now, some people are born with it, but some people don't. I did not born with it. I trained up with it. Like I said, I was born with deficiency. I got my DNA problem with lung. But now, obviously, my DNA is changed. I'm cutting tree. Right? I don't use any medicine. My natural body medicine. So this is all to do with internal, Neidan, I'm sharing with you. Okay, so that's why, yes, we do that. Okay, yeah. So that means when you do it, you hold it, and when you say, oh, focus is dancing, and everybody go into here, there's another big mistake. This is not, this is, people say, oh, 3 inches underneath the belly button and 1.3. That's a point. Ancestor said, Tin. Tin is a petty few. Dan Tian, Dan Tian. But you're telling me Dan Din, right? 1 point. So whose problem is it? Whose fault is it? Ancestor said it's an area, and you're telling me that you focus at 1 point. Problem? And then at this point, some master will say, oh, qi hai, oh, the ocean of energy. Yes, ocean of energy, duma, rima, and this is 1 point. But energy point do not give out dust, or energy points do not give out medicine. When you're looking at a meridian point, you focus on a meridian point and you try to induce medicine. So you don't even know what Xiao meant. You don't even know where that name come up. So there's a lot of misinterpretation, isn't it? Fair enough. So by coming back, I need to obviously the whole entire course to teach you. I can't squeeze it in 1 hour. So coming back to this is very important. So that's why you can put it here, but you have to move, because at the end of the day, moving the yin and yang, you create motion, and the motion, just like the sauna going down. So here, you start detecting yourself. So this is what the standing posture, why we're doing this for, is to increase the sensitivity of this part. And later on, sensitivity of the entire body. That's why it's called embryonic breathing. Okay? So everything is connected. So just don't pull out one thing and say, you know it. What do you know? Fair enough? So that is why we call Tai Chi Zhong. All right, coming back the opposite now. When the arm is not up, so we put the arms down, so it's nothing. So the standing posture, they're all standing posture. Okay, you can sit down. I'm sitting it down now. I can do my sitting posture. So my patient can't even sit down or lay down. You can still do it on the floor. Okay, so that's why we get that right first. Okay, now, so this is Wu Ji Zhang. So this is Wu Ji Zhang. I mean, that means you relax, but when your body relaxes, it doesn't mean your mind relaxes. So mind and body is good word, it's good English word. But again, in mind, when you mention mind, and then completely going into spiritualism now. So I don't want to argue on that. Mind is not spiritualism, nothing at all like that. Mind in Chinese, 修心, 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 心 is the heart. The heart is the emotion. Apart from that, or just the emotion, it is we call it status of the mind. That means the brain. The brain has consciousness and subconsciousness. So a lot of misinterpretation, again, appearing in that kind of, wording. So this is methodology, gongfa, because I'm moving now. So if you want to use the word meditation, this is moving meditation, right? The picture before is static meditation. So from nothing now is something. So these are all zhong. These are all standing posture, right? Yeah. So coming back now all here, I'm also telling you, I'm starting up with structural engineering now. Now, before, I just want you to tell you something that, you say that, what do you know? Yes, I do know. I got 2 degrees, because when I was back in 1973 to 1978, yeah, I was studying environmental architectural design in North London University. Today, I think it's the Metropolitans in Holloway Road. Okay, so I know something about town planning and architectural design. So I know we got a whole year in structural engineering, and I didn't go for that. So I know something about structural engineering. So I'm using structural engineering knowledge, right, to define standing posture as a human structural engineering to you. Fair enough? Okay, now structure the pillar. That's why zhong is called pillar, columns. So that means any weight is shutting down onto the ground. Well, we all know that. But how are we going to put that theory into our practices with our mind and body? That is the problem, right? So next picture, please. Okay, now using this, now you look at it as a pagoda, right? But on its own, if you look at the bigger picture, it's a column. Do you know that the Chinese pagoda can withstand level 10 of earthquakes? They shake, but they don't collapse. Because why? Right? Because it's like a floating pillar. When the earth shakes, the whole thing shifts around. And I still remember when I was doing my degree in the architectural design, it's like a box of matches. You know, the box of matches, you pull out all the matches, you have a frame there, a paper frame. This is exactly what it is. The whole structure stands there. So even you put it on a tabletop, you start shaking the tabletop, the boxes, the empty boxes of matches, right, just move. It did not collapse into itself. Right? So that means the weight has been shed down onto the ground. The entire standing posture is how and why we have to shed our body weight down onto the ground, because you want to relax, and that's the only way to do it, is shed all the weight onto the ground. Make sense? So then now we connect the 2 points. Next picture, please.